One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Now that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com. One of our favorite sponsors is back. This episode of No Simple Road is brought to you by the grandest, most illustrious, illuminators out there, Electric Fish Lights.
Electric Fish Lights.
Go to electricfishlights.com or at electricfishlights on Instagram and let your mind soak in the majesty that is IQ lighting. They can make pretty much anything that you can imaginate. Yep.
And they're good
I said
at it.
that word.
And
Wow.
if you're not sure what we're talking about, go over and check them out where we told you to check them out at and see all the things they make. Whatever's in your mind, whatever your favorite character is, whatever your favorite sports team is. If you want a classic, like retro looking lamp, they have so many ideas, and these will bring your room to life.
And you can get a color changing bulb. You can get a Bluetooth speaker. All these lights come with a 12-year energy efficient, safe to leave on bulb, a 12-foot cord, a hardware kit to hang the light, and it'll make you feel really good.
The best part of all of that is if you let them know that you listen to No Simple Road, you're going to get 25% off.
How do you let them know?
Well, you're going to put in the promo code.
What? NSR.
That's
you couldn't
right.
remember. NSR. Put in the promo code NSR. You're going to get 25% off.
25%
And
off.
you're going to get Electric Fish Magique.
That's right. Delaware Magic
Mhm.
in that box,
So-
along with your goodies.
So make sure you go to electricfishlights.com. Put in promo code NSR, not NSR20, NSR, and you're going to get 25% off and hook yourself up with a light, man. There was once a man who didn't have a shirt and he was sad. And then
Cold?
he was fucking freezing. Well, it's summer, so he was sweaty. But then he went to Shop Tour Bus and he got the coolest Grateful Dead inspired shirt ever.
What?
Yeah. And then that guy, he actually could stand on rainbows when it was all done.
Wow.
He could.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And he was
Because
comfy
of the
at
shirt?
the same time.
Because of the shirt and because he was so happy. Go to shoptourbus.com and
Make yourself happy.
yeah, you're going to smile. You're going to see all kinds of Grateful Dead inspired designs, Grateful Dead songs told in picture form. And they come in these beautiful
Design
design
boxes.
boxes. You can even ask for a hand design box with the Grateful Dead lyric on the inside. Apple, you want to talk. I could see it. Go ahead.
Well, they will customize anything. And what I'm saying, they just made a post not too long ago. Father's Day is coming up.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
right.
And we were going to mention there's special certain few people that you will get in your box. You'll get one of those Miracle bootlegs.
Oh, that's right.
Well, they just got replenished with boatloads of new tapes,
Right
Happy
on.
J cards, and Father's Day boxes. Don't forget your dad.
Aw,
and if
dads
you go
and
over
grads.
to @ShopTourBus on Instagram, you'll see what I'm talking about because I got this buttload of tapes with all of these dope photos.
Oh, the J cards are sick on these cassettes. Hey,
Right on.
listen, if your dad's a deadhead and you get him one of these Shop Tour Bus shirts or hoodies or stickers or pins, he is going to be super stoked.
Yeah, he
and
is.
you're going to get free shipping because you put in the promo code No Simple Road, all one word, at Shop Tour Bus. You can also, in the notes when you're checking out, put in a special note to your dad or whoever you're buying the shirt for. Shit, if you're buying it for yourself, give yourself a note. Hey, me, I'm awesome. Way to go.
Remember when you bought
And then
this
you'll
2
get
weeks
that?
ago?
Yeah, then you'll get that, read that note, and be like, damn, I'm dope.
That's right. So go to shoptourbus.com and be dope.
Hey everyone, Chris Pandolfi from the infamous String Dusters here to let you know that my podcast, Inside the Musician's Brain, is back on the airwaves for season 4, which means it's time once again to get deep with influential musicians from all across the musical landscape to really understand and translate the lessons of success, failure, inspiration, and hard work that are behind the music and the artists that we love. My guests this season include Rachel Price from Lake Street Dives, Sam Bush, Chris Wood, Chris Funk from The Decemberists, Lindsay Liu, MC Taylor from His Golden Messenger, and more. Check us out, and thanks for listening.
We're so excited to tell you a bit about today's sponsor, Music Masters Collective. They are a nonprofit organization that produces unique music events, providing opportunities for fans and artists to meet and collaborate in an inspired and creative atmosphere.
Music Masters Collective events give you the opportunity to learn from world-class musicians like Otil Burbridge, Steve Earle, Richard Thompson, former members of the band, the Milk Carton Kids, Nikki Glaspie, the Fab Four, and Sean Colvin, and so many more.
At an event like the Milk Carton Kids Sad Song Summer Camp happening this July, you can expect immersive classes, evenings of entertainment, excellent food, and a space for a lucky group of folks to learn, co-write, workshop, and perform with like-minded peers, all with the guidance of Kenneth Pattengale, Joey Ryan, and some of their favorite songwriters. This all-inclusive week in the Catskill Mountains of upstate New York is guaranteed to be magical. Scholarships are available and spots are extremely limited, so visit www.sadsongsummercamp.com/simple to learn more. That's www.sadsongsummercamp.com/simple. Check it out. Now that the computer has decided to quit crashing on us, we're hey now, No Simple Road family, how's everybody doing? We're back with another episode. Say hi, guys, so that they know I'm not alone.
I'm not sure if it's really working.
That's
or
what
not
I'm.
yet.
It
That's
is. It's
why
working.
I'm
You can't see the waves,
trepidatious.
but
Also,
don't be trepidatious. I am in control
Well,
of
I
this
can see
train.
a little red line technology.
we've been having a
man.
little technical difficulties, and so I don't want to get all my talks out, and then we'd be like, "Oh, let's do it again."
All right, this is happening. This is Apple.
And no.
And now it's really working, I promise.
Okay.
I swear.
It looks like it's working.
Okay. Looks like it's good.
No,
I won't not talk.
We rebooted the computer and we're just going to go. You know what you just said? Like, we can change our habits. We are going to move forward with positive intent, knowing that this is not going to take a shit on us.
Yes.
Or you guys, because you showed up this week.
Thank you for
wanted to
showing
listen to
back
No Simple
up.
Road. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We don't want to turd out on you. So guess what, everybody? We're
What?
super stoked. This week is the beginning of our series leading up to the 10th anniversary Peach Festival.
Peach
What?
up in the house.
That's right.
The peach
Yeah.
up in the house. We gonna turn up at the peach. We turning up at the peach. We are turning up.
Okay. I
Aaron
guess we're
and Mel
turning
and
up.
Apple are up.
And if you ever ask the question, does No
I'm
Simple
done.
Road even rap? Well,
there it is.
There it is.
Do you even like pizza, Mel? So this week's guest
Not anymore, baby.
is Dani Battat
Woo!
of the one and only Eggy.
Eggy.
And we had an absolute blast talking with Dani.
Thank you so much,
And
Donnie.
I fucked his name up for the first minute and a half of the interview, and that was embarrassing.
Didn't we ask?
I just called him Danny or Daniel, I think, like a dumbass. And then I
but you'll hear the correction in it. It was an honest
It was
mistake.
very
because
sweet.
like how it's spelled and everything. And this is also cool because you'll get a better understanding of where their name came from. That's one of those questions we really don't like asking, like, where'd you come up with your name? But this is a
I'm gonna
very,
take my
very good
name out of
story.
there. I'm going to take my name out of that.
no, you're on the show. You can't take your name out
I
of
do
that.
like asking bands where their name came from, especially if it's interesting. I like to know
Okay.
because it's got a cool.
But it's such
like,
a softball question.
if you don't know, you don't know. If you're trying to ask so everybody else could know, like being in the media, that's one thing. But if I don't know where Eggy came from and I think that's cute and interesting, why not ask it?
And
I don't want to give myself like all these like rules.
Well, and they're
That's
also
true.
Donnie said it too. They kind of enjoy being the kind of cryptic. That's kind of hard to find out a lot of information about
Good.
them, and especially where the name came from.
absolutely. And this is a really sweet, touching, and heartwarming episode. No, answer to that question. But let me back up for a second.
The episode's heartwarming too.
We are going to the Peach Festival,
We're going
everybody.
to the beach.
A couple of weeks ago, actually, maybe about 3 weeks ago now, No Simple Road was actually contacted by the Peach, and we were invited to go do a live podcast.
Woo!
And since that time, my God, a lot of shit has happened, and it's just so much is going down at the Peach. We are doing a 1 hour set every day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not every day.
No,
3
Thursday we're
days.
gonna kick it.
Yeah. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, No Simple Road is going to be podcasting live from the lodge at the Peach, along with the Great Beyond podcast from Osiris Media, and Daniel Donato's Lost Highway will be podcasting live from there as well. And Maggie Rose's Salute the Songbird also will be podcasting live from the lodge at the Peach. And the three of us have never been there. We have never been to Montage Mountain, and to get to celebrate the 10th anniversary with this group of people is going to be something fucking magical. And if you are interested in winning a pair of tickets to the Peach Festival, No Simple Road is giving away a pair of tickets. Go to @NoSimpleRoad on Instagram, and you can look for the Peach video that's up there, and all the details are in the post.
Thank you to is it Vince?
Vin.
Thank you to Vin for giving us those tickets to give to Peach. That was really sweet.
Yeah, those
That's
guys
a great,
have been dope.
yeah, they've been really great in helping us get excited for the Peach, and these interviews are getting us excited. And we talked to Tommy Hamilton last night, and Aaron asked him about, what about the Peach and what about Scranton? And so he gives us his little, his thoughts, and it was just really cool. It's like there's like a excitement in the air about Peach,
Yep.
and like getting ready for it and having meetings about it.
And this whole thing is a thing of firsts for us. And one of those firsts is, excuse me, everybody, hang on. One of those firsts is getting to see Eggy. And, I've really, really been digging them. And if you don't know who they are, go do yourself a favor and check them out. They are one of the hottest fucking kick-ass up-and-coming bands right now. And magic happens at Peach, man. Like, what was it, 2019, Goose played Peach, and they were like third from the bottom on the lineup, and this year they're third from the top. So magic happens at Peach. Keep your eyes on Eggy, everybody. I think they're going to be going through the stratosphere in the not too distant future. So you can say you heard them here first if you heard them here first. If you didn't hear them here first, you could still say that, but you'll be full of shit. So I don't know. It's up to you what you want to do with that information.
And make sure to go check out their new single. Well, it's actually 2 songs on their new single, Nashville Tapes, that came out on May 27th. These are super dope. the Broken Bluff song is so poignant. The lyrics are so amazing. You need to go listen to this now.
Yep. Do that.
After
well,
this,
no.
after
Don't
the
listen to it
interview.
now. Yeah.
Or stop and listen to it, then
Yeah.
come back. Make sure to listen to both is my point.
Well, I could actually play that song as we go into the interview.
Oh, that's a way to do it
Why
too.
don't you guys just hang out and I'll hook you up?
Oh,
Sound
also,
good?
did
All
we talk about, to throw that out there real quick too? What these guys did too was so awesome. They made the single on cassette tapes and they mailed them out to people. We received one of them in this
Oh.
dope, cute little box, all
Oh my
packed up,
gosh.
that had like a cassette, like a Walkman cassette player in it with the tape,
With batteries.
with batteries, so we could throw that on there, which we did, and sat on the patio, and it was like a little bit of nostalgia taking you back.
The sound quality
Yeah.
that came from it.
Yeah, it is so cool. So well done, guys.
Yeah. So
It was, thank you for that sweet package, because it was like, we got it,
it was
like,
the day after we talked to Dani.
yeah, it was, the timing couldn't have been any better.
Oh,
What?
and I don't know how I forgot to mention this when we were talking about us going to Peach and doing interviews. We're going to be interviewing Eggy live at the Peach. So that too. Forgot to mention that.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So yeah, it just keeps.
So
it
what you're saying
keeps
is
happening.
turn up at the Peach. Turn up at
Yeah.
the Peach.
Okay.
And if you don't have tickets, check it out. Enter the
Yeah,
enter the contest
enter the
for
ticket
running to
giveaway.
win those tickets.
Yeah, the contest is running until the 19th. We're gonna have Darwin pick a winner on the 19th. So you have until then. And if you, I'll give you a little bonus hint. If you enter the contest on Instagram, follow the rules. Look down at the bottom there. You can get a bonus entry if you follow us on Twitter at No Simple
What?
Road. So just saying. Anyway,
Follow us on both.
let's do the business and we'll get him to the interview so that we can do the stuff afterwards and do all the stuff that we do when we're doing stuff. Okay? Ready? Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at No Simple Road. Make sure you go to the No Simple Road YouTube channel because we're doing live streams once a week and there's stuff up there now. So go check that out. If you haven't had a chance to watch the live streams, they're up there for the rest of our lives. And you can
What?
go watch the ones that we've already done. You can go to www.nosimpleroad.com and you can sign up for the newsletter there. You can get No Simple Road merch. You can sign up for a tarot reading with Mel and I. We do tarot readings.
I
with
know we
the
haven't had
Grateful
one in
Dead
a
tarot deck.
while.
Yeah, no, you know what? Everybody, what would be a great send-off for Peach is if one of you or 20 of you out there signed up for a tarot reading before we
Ooh,
left.
that'll make us very busy.
Mhm. You
1 or
guys,
20.
we're here for
That's-
you. Just saying. Also,
I love the challenge.
you can go to patreon.com/No Simple Road and you can sign up to become a Chandonator.
Chandonators of the world unite. You know, the other day I had somebody
They love Fresh Festival.
that asked, and it was actually Bree, what is a Chandonator?
A Chandonator is a person that pledges money monthly to No Simple Road through Patreon.
Is there any denomination that
Yeah.
needs to qualify for being a Chandonator?
They can give any denomination from $1 up.
Okay.
Was that a good explanation?
Yes.
And where,
$1 up.
what are the origins of Chandonator?
It came from
John B. called in on the Tepid line and said that he was going to be a Patreon donator as much as he could.
always will be
Always
as much
will
as
be
I
as
can.
much as he can. And Google translated it to Chandonator, and it stuck.
Yeah.
So there's the origin of Chandonator.
Is that, would you add anything to that, Apple? Was
They
that
love
accurate?
Fresh Festivals.
Fresh vegetables? Yeah.
Okay.
That is
so
some OG inside No Simple Road shit right there.
There it is.
Yeah, so that's how we pay for everything around here, you guys. We're traveling, we're going to festivals,
Yeah.
we're doing live podcasts, we're entertaining
And
the
I just
pants off
cut
all of you.
myself into the payroll by quitting my day job.
Yeah, so we need your help, man. Like
I strong-armed my way into the No Simple Road.
we really need Patreon supporters, everybody.
We do.
All bullshit aside, like if you're listening to this show every month or every week, I'm sorry, we put out an episode at least,
Yeah.
one episode a week.
We do 4 episodes a month.
Can
That's
you
a lot.
Please do us a favor.
Do us a
and
solid.
sign up for $1, man. It's just $1. It's not even a fucking cup of coffee.
I was gonna say, if all of our listeners
Dang.
gave a buck, we would be
We'd be
doing
good
good.
to go.
And Selby, I haven't forgot about you. I still haven't bought that coffee yet. I haven't really gone out for coffee in a minute.
All right. So that's the Patreon thing. You can call 971-808-1524. That is the Tepid line. You can
Tepid
call in
line.
and say whatever the fuck you want. And we
encourage that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Whatever the fuck you want. We've gotten some awesome ones. We need more. The other thing you do, it doesn't cost a dime. Is go on over to the Apple Podcast. You go in there. You go down to where it says reviews. You'll see the 5-star thing. You punch that 5-star review. Beyond that, you can go on there. This doesn't cost anything either. A couple seconds of your time. Write a nice little review. We love getting those. We haven't had one since the middle of May. We're now in June. Come on, people. Please give us a review.
You could be our June reviewer.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you've been on the fence, you've been waiting for your moment. Now is your moment to shine. I'm calling on you, person. Your ears are hot right now because you're thinking I'm talking to you. Well, I am talking to you.
Yeah.
Go on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. And then next week on the show, when we do this part of the show, you'll hear your name and us being really happy that you came along and were born into the world and your ears got hot and then you typed some shit. And all that happened with that was you made us happy. See? It's easy. No Simple Road's cool.
Make
And
us
so-
happy. Make yourself happy. Make us happy.
Yeah.
It'll make the whole world happy.
And I'm done with the business. Mel's giggling. Apple's tired. We're going to do our thing and get you to the interview. So without further ado, the three of us give you
Dani from Eggy.
Nice, Mel. I like it.
everything falls through. Each dimension breaks in two, like the two hands clapping, like the two wings flapping. Everything for free, as it all eventually turns to dust and metal. Roll to rock and metal time. Escaping time. Escaping time. Escaping.
Perfect.
Yeah. What's up, Daniel? I'm Aaron. How's it going, man?
It's going well. I'm really happy to be here with you guys.
Yeah,
All
we're
right
stoked to
on.
have you, man.
Same. This is Mel. So nice to meet you.
Hey, Mel.
And then I'm Apple.
Hey, Apple.
Yeah, you are.
Yes. Yes, I am big and red today.
Yes, you
too.
are. Daniel, welcome, dude.
Is it Danny? Is it Daniel?
It's Donnie, actually.
Donnie.
Donnie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why does everything say that?
I
Why-
do my best to confuse everybody.
Okay.
Oh,
Well
it's-
done.
It's pronounced Donnie, but it's spelled Dani.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because I'm Daniel less the EL.
Okay.
Okay.
All
There's,
right.
running theories as to why.
I want to hear all of them.
Yeah.
So the one I was first told was my brother, like when he's a couple years older than me, when we were kids, he had a hard time saying Daniel, I guess. So it just he likes to think he dubbed me Donnie.
All right.
Which is very possible, but I also I have some Israeli roots. My dad was born in Jerusalem, and in Hebrew, Daniel is Daniel.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's just a quick drop the L at the end, and you're Donnie.
All right.
Right on.
Well,
That also somewhere in the middle.
go ahead, Apple.
Well, I was just gonna say, do us a favor, because now we've got your name right for our listeners. If you introduce yourself and tell them, what band you're in, what you do.
It's a good idea.
Sure. My name is Dani Battat. I play in the band Eggy. I'm the keyboard player. I sing songs.
Yeah, you
I do a lot of video editing here for the band.
Oh.
It's been a project I've been involved with for, about 11 or 12 years now.
Wow.
Wow.
Founding member of this band, and I've been doing it since my senior year of high school as the first iterations of Eggy.
Wow.
Oh shit.
We're here on the podcast from New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah. So we were wondering
All right.
where you guys were
Connecticut.
based. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a trip for us. Like, we're all the way on the other side of the country in Portland, Oregon. And the jam scene is since 2015, really, in my perspective, things have kind of blown up. You know what I mean? There's a lot of bands out there, and there's a lot happening. But from our perspective, we're all the way on the other side of the country. So that's the beauty of social media and being able to find out about new music. And I don't know what happened with the algorithm or whatever. I had never heard of you guys. And then all of a sudden, maybe about, 4 or 5 months ago, all I started seeing was Eggy all over the place. And have you guys felt that? Is that a thing that's like a wave that you're riding, or am I off?
No, I think it's most certainly a wave that we're riding. In the last year, since we've been able to get back on the road, we've been able to extend our reach now as far west as Colorado, most recently. And we've been having the great fortune of being able to see a lot of the country with bands like Spafford and Dopapod and the Motet, Twiddle, bands that we've been able to go spend some time with out on the road. And I think that's really helped, push our gospel across to you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and-
for me too, as Aaron brought it, months ago.
yeah.
He was like, "Have you listened to this Eggy band?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just started the other day when you guys all of a sudden popped up on Nugs TV or Nugs.net, whatever.
Right. Yeah,
I always
Nugs.
say it wrong. Yeah, Nugs." And I was
Right.
like, I just all of a sudden it was bam, bam, bam. And I started listening, and we right about the same time we started listening to
And
you guys.
I would say Nugs has had a huge impact on our ability to reach new listeners. I mean, we were playing in Iowa for the first time. It was maybe this past November. We were playing with Spafford, and I met someone that had traveled a couple hours from Omaha to the show. And to me, it was just the coolest thing, being like, there's people in Nebraska that know about us. Like, I don't know anybody from Nebraska, but that someone's listening, and so much of that is thanks to Nugs and their audience. That's something we joined with them. I want to say it was in July of last year.
Okay.
How does that happen? Like, do you just like reach out to them? Like, how did that whole thing get started?
I have to credit Kevin Rondo from the Jam Flow management team that we've been working with for the past few years. And he's built relationships over the last many years, and through Twiddle, was able to bridge that relationship for us, and it's been a really great thing. We do a lot of our audio mixing and video editing all in house, so it's gotten us working overtime, but it's been so much fun, and I know it's really exciting for fans to be able to listen back to the shows within a couple of days. And if you're not at the show, you can basically, I'm a big sports fan. I love keeping up with my New York Mets wherever they are, so it's like, in the sense, like, you get to just keep up with the season even if you can't be there.
Yes. And you know what too, Donnie, is like, for those of us that aren't in areas that you're playing, especially with the kind of music that you guys are making and that we're all into, it's like, it's really difficult to get a feel for a new band listening to a studio album.
Yes.
Because it's not the same animal at all. It's more polished. There's overdubs and blah, blah, blah. But seeing a band live is a completely different story. So for us getting to hear it live, it really does gives us the full experience.
Totally. And I think it's interesting because so many of the artists that I've been listening to and lately, you can't find anything on them live. We live in such an interesting scene where there's so much emphasis on live music, and it's not the same in any other genre except maybe in like jazz.
Right.
Like a band might do a live album every few years, and we're going out on the road essentially putting out a live album every night.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's and you guys are doing all the you're doing all the video stuff and the back end stuff yourself?
Yeah, so our drummer Alex Bailey, he is who I wish was here to help me set up the my just little 2-channel Focusrite, but he's become quite the whiz at mixing and editing through Pro Tools, and a couple of years ago we invested in like an in-ear monitoring system that also doubles as our way of getting the soundboards every night multi-tracked. And so after a show we'll when we hop in the van, it's starting to dump all of the files into his computer, and we've got a multicam setup that we break out every night, and then we're dumping footage, and I'm trying to throw together some either a song, if we can get a full set or a show out, that's great, but just a lot of just doing it in-house while it's just a small operation at the moment.
Brother, I'm going to tell you.
Do it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you're doing an amazing job. Me and Aaron were sitting around this morning watching the videos from the Cervantes shows, and he said, he's all, man, they got somebody professional doing their filming and stuff.
But he's good, whoever it is. So it's you guys, man. That's a whole other level of shit right there.
Yeah, it and it was born out of necessity. I didn't necessarily have any background in doing that, but we just knew it was important. Honestly, watching the guys from Goose and their hustle and their ability to put things out like that, and knowing that like Peter is in the van doing audio and video editing, and that was like, saw the response that fans had to that, and knew just it was clear the value in that. So we kind of just picked up on that. And I was just looking the other day, we were doing this every Monday. We were calling it Monday Rewind. And we would try and put out a song or a video a week. And I looked, and it's funny, I said to the guys yesterday, I was like, hey, so I know it's Saturday night. I was like, I don't have anything for Monday. And we looked, and I looked at the playlist, and it was 16 videos. And I said, you know what? It's been 16 weeks straight that I've done something like this. I was like, maybe we're going to, maybe we'd table this for a little bit. I just had to reflect for that moment, being like, put in a decent chunk of work, and I'm going to let that body sit there for a bit. And, we'll have, not to say we're going to stop doing any live videos anytime soon, but, especially now that there's festivals and things coming up that we're going to be releasing. It's
so much, dude, I'm going to tell you, we've been, it's funny that we're even talking about this.
That's why he's sitting here chuckling.
It's like
cramming.
We just did our first live stream this week. So like, I knew jack shit about live streaming Monday. So I had 1 week to like learn everything I needed to know to make it happen.
Learn and purchase everything.
Yeah, get the equipment.
And trial by fire.
Totally.
Yes, absolutely.
And I can't imagine, like, so we did it yesterday afternoon, and when we were done, I don't know, have you ever experienced this? Like, you're all stoked to go do something, and like, you've learned what you need to know. I imagine music is like this, and like, you go out and you do the show or you do the thing, and as soon as you're done, you're like, I'm fucking exhausted. Like, I don't want to think. I don't want to talk. Like, just the excitement of doing it, and then when it's over, it's not there anymore, and you're like, whoa, I didn't realize how hard I worked. Do you go through that with playing shows?
Oh, totally. I've said that, like, being on the road is this duality of like constant adrenaline and also the ability to fall asleep at any given moment.
Yes.
Sitting up at your keys, and you're just like,
oh
yeah.
man.
But like, could have been taking a nap in the green room 15 minutes prior.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. It's a trip. And what you say about the video part of it is so true, man. Like, it adds an element that you can't get anywhere else. And it makes, at least with you guys, like, the music is amazing. It stands alone all by itself. Please don't take this the wrong way, but
thank you.
When you add that video production into it, it adds a polish to it that wasn't otherwise there. Do you get what I'm saying? I
get what you're saying.
And it really made me want to see you guys live. Like, wow, that's what's going on at the shows. I want to fucking be there.
Totally. The music is obviously the focal point, the central figure of it all. But, even in times where we play some places, and, we're getting to the point now where it's like, all right, lights, there needs to be lights at every show, because that, like, half the experience as an audience person is the immersive experience. Yeah. And, sometimes the music goes into some places that if you're just looking at us, it's not going to feel right. Like,
gotcha.
Yes.
Like, it's, you want to feel like you're kind of like in the sea a little bit more than in a room.
Well, I think we as a scene, like, especially you guys that are your age, have a real advantage when it comes to that shit, because we've had the opportunity to see bands like Fish and the Dead and others come up. And so you see what the progression looks like and what you need. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not starting from scratch. You're getting to build on this body of work.
Every summer, and there would always be like a, Phil Esch and Friends or Further or Rat Dog. And like, that's where we got our education in all of this.
Yes.
And really got to see it happen. Like, and it's a really humbling feeling to, like, start to feel our growth within the greater conversation, as well as seeing some of our, our friends that have started to, have success and feeling like, wow, I was going to Gathering the Vibes 10 years ago, things have shifted in the last 10 years. And like you were saying, since 2015, feeling like things have really changed. And it's just,
it's crazy. And hang on one second. Mel, will you do me a favor? Will you unplug the fridge?
Oh, is that what made that happen?
That's what did it. Yeah. We lost audio for a second. Hang on one sec, Donnie.
What she's doing.
Yeah.
I always back up to when you said that friends of yours gaining traction too. Do you have anybody you want to throw out to us that we should be listening to that's up and coming? Or even
yeah, I'm even just thinking about I'm sure you all very familiar with Goose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those we were playing, those guys are a couple years older than us, but we were very much a part of the same local scene for a while. And now to see the kind of the billings that they're getting, this and the types of venues and things that they're doing, and like I said, with with the kind of output we were we're striving for, is that those guys hustle, and those guys are very determined. And that's been very inspiring. And just around here, there's in like you said, in the Northeast, we have this because I think in the Northeast, everything is very tight. Between Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, there's so many distinct hubs for music. Even around here, I'm going to throw a shout out to Kieran Edwards, Previn Edwards, and their band Residual Groove. There's these younger guys from Connecticut. They were cutting their teeth just doing residencies out here and growing their craft, and haven't even begun the greater conversation to be a part of. But there's I remember being the 22-year-old in their position, and now I'm 29, and even in a matter of 5, 6, 7 years, feeling like there's that next wave coming up where it's I'm not, I'm young maybe, but I'm not the young guy anymore.
Yeah.
The guys from Dogs, you get familiar with Dogs in a Pile?
Oh yes, yeah.
Band from New Jersey.
They're amazing.
Really cool to see. Some younger, well, I would call them, I was about to say young cats, but they're most certainly dogs.
Yes,
That's
young
right.
Dogs. It's really cool to see, and it gives me so much faith for the greater scene at large. It's interesting to see too that there's a level of uncomfortability that I think some people can get from seeing new bands and artists in places that they were used to seeing, Phil Lesh or String Cheese Incident over the years, or any of these acts that we've been familiar with for a long time. And I think uncomfortability is half of what makes our scene great. Getting into that hairy situation of a jam, and whether you're performing it and being how are we going to get out of this, or being in the audience being is this how are we getting out of this?
Is this really happening?
I'm kind of freaking out right now.
Yeah.
That uncomfortability, it's what you end up makes everything grow in the end.
That's a mouthful right there, man, because I've actually said to Mel and Apple in the past, I've done psychedelics a lot in my life, but particularly taking psychedelics and going to shows has made me comfortable with being uncomfortable. Especially the set break experience at a show when you're super lit and the lights come on, and that's fucking weird. It's a weird situation to be in.
It's fucking
sober.
weird, man.
The other night, one of our friends was over. He said, he's all, it's set break when the lights come on. It looks like everybody needs an ambulance. Everybody's just bug-eyed and looking around, sweaty and pasty, and
but I never thought about it like that. That uncomfortability is the thing that causes growth, but that's true. That's absolutely
growing
true.
Pains.
Yeah, and I also never thought about seeing, when you're used to seeing Phil Lesh at the Cap, And then you see Eggy at the Cap as that could be an uncomfortable experience, but I understand where you're coming from.
Mm.
It makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and you know, everyone is in a lot of ways naturally reluctant to new things. You know, we like the things that we like, and you know, oftentimes I'm delightfully surprised when I hear an artist that I, you know, have heard of probably for years and maybe just ignored for not a good reason. Just I like, you know, I like what I like listening to, and then you end up maybe hearing an artist that like you wouldn't have expected. So all of a sudden be like, well, you just changed my life. Man, I'm glad I gave this a shot.
Yeah. You know what? You mentioned Goose, and it was that like that 100% with them for me. Like I never really cared. I heard them a few times. I was like, yeah, whatever. And then we saw them open for Pigeons, and I was like, holy shit, how did I miss this? Like, where was I? And, you know, talking about that, like the larger conversation and what's going on in the scene, seeing a band like that in I don't know, how many people you think the Wonder Ballroom holds? Like 500, 1,000?
Probably a little over 1,000.
So like 1,000-person venue, right? The last time we saw them there, when the show ended, I looked at these guys. I was like, that's the last time we're ever seeing them in a venue this size. There's no way that's happening again. And then not like a month or two later, they sold out the Goosemas thing with like, what was that, 5,000 seat arena, right? So
yeah, out here, in Connecticut, Mohegan Sun, it's got to be at least 5,000.
Right. And so that's the thing that, like, for bands that are riding the wave that we're talking about right now, that's what I see coming for you guys. That's the next logical step in the progression of how things are going, and especially with the work ethic and the hustle. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, if you're doing the work, and obviously, again, the talent's there, how can it not happen?
Well, you know, I tell myself that actually all the time, and you know, we have this conversation. It's like I just don't see it not happening for us, so long as we just keep doing. Excuse me. So long as we keep our drive and our, you know, our spirits high. I just, you know, everyone's the center of their own universe, right? So I like to think in my universe I have a successful career and doing the thing I love with the people that I love.
Oh,
That's
yeah. Now I got to ask it, because me and Aaron were talking before that usually we don't go there and ask this, but we really want to know. You guys are kind of cryptic with stuff. It's hard to figure out. There's not a lot on you guys to look up. Like, I usually do a lot of research on band members. Where did the name? And you're the founding member, right? You said.
Yeah, one of two that's with the band currently.
Where did the name Eggy come from?
Well, I'm really happy that you asked me, because I love actually answering this question.
Okay,
hell yeah. Because we usually don't do that.
Yeah. Well, and so it's a little bit of a serendipitous story, actually. Eggy is the childhood nickname of our good friend Edward Torrance. And it was coincidentally his birthday yesterday. And I was just with his family today. So like I said, since I was in high school, senior year of high school, the first version of this band existed, and we were like coming up with names at our lunch table, and like someone threw out like, oh, why don't we call the band Eggy? And he was like, please, like, don't do that. Like, I don't want you to name the band after me. And so, you know, that was all the justification we needed to do it.
That put the gold seal
and,
on.
you know, we thought we'd be cute with it. And so it was, originally we were Eggy and the Delegates. He would be Eggy. He wasn't in the band. He was like our guru, you know?
Right.
He would be Eggy and we were his delegates, doing whatever it is delegates do.
Got it.
After you know, we graduated high school, we were like, I think we should drop the and the delegates thing. It doesn't really market that well. Eggy is a lot more, you know, punchy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately we lost Edward 5 years ago. He had he battled, like many do, with addiction and substance abuse, and so we carry his name Eggy.
Oh, dude.
Now it
that's
means
so
even
fucking
more.
cool.
Okay, that's dope.
It's really just become this like larger than life kind of literally thing where it's like we're doing it for ourselves because we're living the life, but it's for something so much greater. And
Yeah.
it's his family is like our family. I live with his brother. Like I was just an hour ago, I was over at his parents' house,
Wow.
celebrating his birthday. And so as I was leaving, I was hoping you guys would actually ask me about
Oh,
Yay.
man.
that. I love to,
It's a
I
great
love to
tribute.
talk about Edward. And I mean, he was just like he was a musician himself. He was incredibly creative and passionate, and I would, imagine is just like would be incredibly proud of what we're doing. And if he was around, would be doing some things that would totally blow my mind. And I feel honored. I play one of his keyboards on stage with me. If you see any of the videos of that white synthesizer that I have sitting on top, that was his keyboard. That was like the brain of his workstation. So I can't help but feel like the connection to him whenever I'm playing that.
Oh,
Wow,
man. That's a
man.
beautiful
That-
story, brother.
You
That's
said
that-
so cool.
Well, you said that he was like your guru. So what was it about him that gave him that title?
He got like the joke that we were going for. Like he got our sense of humor. He would be, or just whenever we'd have band practices, he'd be hanging out, taking photos. He was our original video guy.
Right on.
So he was just along every step of the way, especially in the earliest days. And so he was, even though he was never in the band, he was just such a huge supporter
was
of
he
in
was
us.
part of
band.
he was
He
part
was-
of the band.
yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the band, yeah. And we would make we would jam. He played drums, he played keyboards, he played bass. We would jam at his place. He'd come over, we would jam, or we'd record some music together or play piano together. And he was as much in the in our musical family as one could get.
Oh, man.
That's amazing, because
you
now
can
that
feel that.
now it gives a meaning to that's so deep and so special and everything. Because we were jokingly like,
I said,
Like, it's
we're
one
either
of two
I go, we're
things.
either going to get some bullshit answer, some vague, cryptic bullshit
Mm-hmm.
answer, or it's going to be a really great story.
and it's a really great story.
Yeah,
Though we do tend to be a little cryptic. I mean,
Yeah.
just today we posted some like really weird cryptic teaser for a release we have coming up this week.
I wanted to ask about that. I mean,
Yeah.
can you spill the beans a little bit? This is going to come out after that. So,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, so last fall when we were on tour with Spafford, we had a couple of days off, and let's see. Okay. So Alex had a friend in Nashville. He works at a studio. So we had a couple of days off in Nashville and said, why don't we pop in there? And we ended up recording this like 2-track. It's going to be released as a cassette.
What?
So yeah.
Apple can listen to it in his car.
Yep.
And we one of our buddies, actually coincidentally went to high school with, was on the road with us for that week, and he's a videographer. And so we did like an in-studio music video for one of the songs, and it's coming out. It's going to be on Tuesday. We're announcing the release of the tapes,
Oh, damn.
with the music video to come out the following week, and then everything's going to hit streaming the 27th.
Oh,
this
that's
month.
so cool.
How
man.
fun.
Yeah.
On cassette,
I mean-
even?
Yeah. And to add to the work ethic element, it was like, we had just played like 5 shows in a row, and it's like, we got 2 days off. Let's go in the studio and like
Oh, shit.
just and have, a 14-hour day here in the studio. But I mean, I don't remember that being tired. What I remember is now that we have this cassette and everything, and actually you guys will be receiving one pretty soon.
Yay!
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I hope I didn't ruin a
Yay.
surprise.
No, because we'll forget, and then we'll get it in the mail. We're like, yes.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of short-term memory loss. man.
Yeah, yes.
Everything's
Right.
new all the time. So cool. Yeah, man.
I wanted to ask, like, how long has Eggy been like all you do?
I quit my desk job in January of 2019.
Wow. Okay.
So since then,
What was
right before our first 2-week tour.
okay? So
Okay.
was that the tour? Was that the thing that made you finally say I don't have a choice, or was there some other like deciding factor that would led up to it?
Well, I was working for my dad at the time. So if I was like, Dad, can I take 2 weeks off? He'd probably be like, I mean, no, but you're my son, and so I'll try and make this work for you. But
Right.
I had, Jake, our guitar player, and Mike, our bass player, they'd already quit doing their full-time thing. And Alex, our drummer, had just graduated from college. So he was like, he was going to move down. He moved down to New Haven right after he graduated from Berkeley, and was like, all right, like if we're going to do this, we got to be able to do this, full time. And it coincided perfectly with the release of our first album, Watercolor Days.
Mm-hmm.
Because just we were able to go on tour and then really start to practice for like that element. We were doing like, all day practices for a while, especially once we were all in the same area and we could finally do that. And so it worked perfectly, where it's like I felt like I could put my money where my mouth was, where it's like, hey, I'm leaving this so I can do this all the time. And I actually was able to do that all the time.
Oh, that's so cool.
Wow.
Tell them why you asked, Mel.
Well, no, I mean, there are always reasons why you ask a question, but like we're all, going through that right now. And early on, we had a band called the Higgs on, and
I know the Higgs.
Yeah, the Higgs, they're great. So we did a live podcast from Terrapin Crossroads.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it was amazing. And Jesse, the keyboard player, was like, hey, one thing about, being in a band, like it didn't start like really going up and like being amazing until we all decided that we were all in. It wasn't like weekend job and, sorry, I can commit to 2 practices a week or whatever. It was like everyone's all in. And once they became all in, they really started to gain traction. And, now their band is, has a little bit of changes and stuff, but we're facing that exact same thing where it's it's literally asking more of you. And if you continue to do the same things that you always did, well, then maybe the call will still be there, but the opportunity could probably, go by the wayside. I'm not saying you never get opportunity again, but it's
these particular ones.
You need to go when the fire's there. Otherwise,
totally. You have
right?
to answer the call that your heart's telling you to do. And it's funny. I remember, what in our first lineup of Eggy, when it was Eggy and the Delegates and our drummer at the time, like, because everyone was going to go off to school and do things, they were going to go figure out their lives for them. And our drummer at the time being like, I need like us to reach a certain point before I can say, and it's like, if you keep, because once you cross that line in the sand, it's just time to make the next one.
Yes.
So it's like, I think it's the same with any business endeavor, and probably many things in life where it's like, until you actually give yourself that like full commitment and the full opportunity to live inside it, it's like you'll never really be able to achieve that full potential that you're hoping for. It's like,
and also like,
can we just sit on that?
Well, especially with something that you're passionate about, like playing music or doing this, doing a show, or you said it so right just now, living inside of it, because it is a thing that you are in all the time. And when you have to step out of it, you are giving your energy, time, talent, and creativity to something else.
Right.
And your attention.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part too. Like you said, you were in Nashville just the other day on a 14-hour day. You don't even remember being tired, but you remember the end result, the product, and you have something to show for it. So, okay, you lost a couple hours of sleep, but you created a new baby and you're putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that you can be like, oh, I slept 8 hours that night. Like, and and what, that's not really furthering what you're trying to do.
Right. Because I'd be, I was sitting at my desk at work anyway, like trying to write lyrics. And, I wrote I wrote lyrics to a few of our songs from that desk, Watercolor Days, 12 Pounds of Pain. I would sit there trying to write back when I was working that job. I was doing a lot of our booking. So I'm like writing emails and coming up with, show posters and stuff. So it was like, it helped that I had a desk, but it was like,
I don't really work here. I come to do something else.
But it's I think it's just, and like you said, living inside of it, as Eggy, we're coming on 3 years of actually living together in the same house.
Oh shit.
So yeah, our 3-year anniversary is in June.
How's it going?
It's a net positive.
Oh, okay.
I'd say it's not without its share of hiccups. And I think that talk about growing pains. I mean, it's one thing to work with people. It's one thing to live with people. And then there's one thing to live with who you work with.
Yeah.
And so, we found what makes each other tick. We found also what excites each other. And, we've gotten frustrated at each other and talked all day about our dynamic. And we've also had days where we just, played music and created all day. It's a push and pull in a sense. It's like, cause what we do, it's so, it's just so, it's everything is everything.
Right.
In our world. And it's really hard for us to we're like watching, like The Last Dance, the like Michael Jordan Bulls documentary, and like watching it, analyzing it, and how it like relates back to the thing we do.
Yeah.
Or like, they say how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yes.
So it's like, and we'll like assess like, it might even be right down to like, hey, Donnie, like what you're doing, in your relationship, or like, the way whatever, it's like, it's reflective in how you are in the jam. Like it's everything becomes everything, almost to the point of excessiveness, but it's like that extra step over the line that like really like drives us to like,
that's
I don't know, like, and we go, we cut ourselves slack, but we really do like, we're the kind of people that if the first set was not good, in our opinion, we're in that green room, like just picking it apart and like making sure that next one is better. Like kind of like if you're losing at the first half, like you can't just accept you're going to lose the game. Like you have to analyze what's not going right. Like, hey, the pocket that you're sinking into is you're too active, or like Donnie, like you're getting in your own head. Like got to address these things at face value so that we can like overcome them. And it might be uncomfortable in the moment, but we're able to like actually like, because no one wants to lose the game. So it's like,
brother, you're
especially when our job is just to go out there and entertain at baseline, baseline.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing, is just trying to entertain people and put aside our own, feelings towards what's going on is it's a bit of a challenge.
Donnie, you're talking about our life right now.
Yeah.
You literally just explained
it's a
our
trip
day-to-day.
because we just had a whole like thing yesterday, like, well, not yesterday, a couple days ago, just kind of like
hashing shit out.
Well, it was like, sometimes you don't want to hurt people's feelings, and you're letting them kind of have their moment. But then, like you said, you all live together. You have the same objective in mind. So if you don't say something, you're screwing up not only your objective, but also theirs.
Totally.
So it's not helpful to not say something, whether
To
it's
spare somebody's
uncomfortable.
feelings,
If it's
Right.
uncomfortable, or if you just, it's been a long day, or no, you got to fucking say it, because then,
Totally.
then what happens?
Yeah, but sometimes
Yeah.
it's gonna like,
Sting.
it's gonna start some shit.
but
like,
still,
oh,
like that-
man,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Well, they're a married couple, so what they're talking about is me. At the moment.
Well,
Because-
it's funny.
well,
like
they-
the way
they-
that it happened, I started it by saying this. I went up to Apple. I was like, "So Apple, me and Aaron have been talking behind your back."
And I looked right at her. I go, I know. I wish you would talk to me. I was like, I can tell when like I walk in the room and you guys get quiet and just look at me that something's been going on.
Well,
It's like,
when you live with people, like you said, you know what people's buttons are,
Yeah.
and you also know, like you said, what makes them tick.
and you try to be respectful,
Yeah.
but then there comes a point, and then that happened the other day. She brought that. I was like, please tell me. And then, which is funny, me and Aaron I'm 53, Aaron's 50. We've been friends since we were like 12. So if anybody should not have a problem speaking to each other, it should be me and him. But we're the ones that end up having a hard time approaching each other and like hurting each other's feelings or bringing something out.
Man.
So that's where Mel comes in,
Aaron's
as a great.
no, Aaron's like, hey, you need to talk to Apple. And I'm like, me? Why do I gotta talk to him? And he's like, because it works. And then I talk to Apple, and Apple's like, yeah, just the way that you talk to me just feels better. Like,
And then I was able to talk to him, and then we roundabout came to the same thing. But at the end of all of it, all three of us, what it came down to, and probably with you guys, when stuff goes wrong or awry, lack of communication.
Yep.
Trying to spare somebody's feelings.
Absolutely.
Fuck sparing somebody's feelings if it's going to progress things. Like sometimes you got to step on each other's feelings and be like, because like with me, sometimes they have to sometimes be like, dude, you're getting freaking lazy. I'm in the cannabis industry, and I help manage 2 dispensaries. So I smoke a lot of weed, and sometimes I get a little more out there and disjointed from them, because they're a couple. They're going to bed talking about what we're doing. They're going to the store talking about it. I'm by myself. I'm not talking about our podcast because I have no one to talk to. I had to point that out the other day, and they're like, oh, fuck. Okay, we didn't even really think about that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have somebody I'm talking to all the time.
Yeah.
They always are, and it's like, include me. Tell me what you guys were talking about. I don't know. So we figured it out. Probably like you guys, it's like communication is so important.
Absolutely. It's like, as much as you can gain, outside perspective and try and get in someone else's shoes, it's like gives you such a more well-rounded way of moving forward. And, I'm a Scorpio, so people tell me that means I bottle things up. So I totally feel that, it's all about like, just having to like, not even be afraid of how you feel, like, and just like speaking truthfully and honestly. And, sometimes the truth is ugly and it's going to hurt.
It is.
Do you notice that, like, I've always wondered this about playing, especially jam music, like when you guys are beefing or there's tension, or even on the flip side, when things are going great and you've like had some victory, that comes out in the jam.
Like
the
energy that we bring onto the stage.
Yeah. Does it come with you?
It can sometimes, and I think everyone has had those moments where they have to make the concerted effort to just, leave their shit at the door and remember that, like, we're here to do a job, which is, to make everyone that's come out to make this whole event possible have a good time. And, my idea of a good time sometimes also includes it being a thoughtful experience. Maybe, it's like, obviously we're grooving and we're dancing and we're partying, but, I love tender moments in music, and we try and paint a full picture. But, I think Jim Carrey kind of said it best, where he's like, I can't get, like, I'm going to paraphrase, but it's like, he picked the job of entertainer. Like no one wants to see like his kind of drama appear. It's not we signed up for this role, so we have to accept that.
Yes.
Whatever we may be. And a lot of times you can channel your negativity into something more positive. I was reading, Quincy Jones just put out a new book that I would recommend everybody read.
Okay.
12 Notes on Creativity. It's kind of like what he's learned about how to, channel creativity, as well as, handle yourself in a, more professional business environment. It's very much catered towards musicians, but it definitely applies to anyone that does anything creative at large. And, channel your, I think I'm paraphrasing again, but it's all about channeling, negativity into using that as your fuel.
Oh,
and trying to overcome that kind of stuff. And you know, I can think of one show kind of in particular that was like when we were on the road with Dopapod in this past winter, where we had so prior to the tour we bought a van, this like 06 Sprinter that's been nothing but a headache since we bought it. I mean, we've owned it for 6 months and we've missed as many shows in it as we've made it to.
Oh shit.
So, you know, we were, you know, this was like middle of this run with Dopapod. We're feeling pretty down on our luck because we're renting, we're bleeding money. Like, we're like, it's the middle of the winter and we're in the Northeast. Like, you know, we're feeling like kind of just like burnt out and tired. And God bless my parents. We had another vehicle. They drove from Connecticut to Pittsburgh with our old van that was just sitting at home being like, you guys forgot about me. and they drove it out. I'd have been perfect. And they drove it out to us so that we could return our rental and not have to keep hemorrhaging money. They wanted to come to the show anyway, so it actually worked out perfectly. But they drove it through a snowstorm. Actually, I love you, my parents.
Shout out mom and dad.
Shout out mom and dad. And I just remember they came to this show and we were just feeling so just down on our luck, like feeling just like I had lost my voice prior to the show. I wasn't even gonna sing that night. I remember my mom bought me some like potato soup or whatever, and like she's like, you guys look like shit. Like, and I felt just like embarrassed. Like I was like, this isn't the show I want you to see. Like, why don't you see me doing something like
awesome,
a little more
awesome.
And then we get on that stage and like, it was just kind of like, you know, when you got nothing left in the tank, essentially. Like I remember like we'll do like we like to do this thing where we power up before the shows. Like we'll do this big fist bump thing and everything. I don't even know if we did it that show. It was just like, let's just, you know what? We're playing music, happy to be here. Like, let's just do what we do. And it was such like, from the first, like, I'm feeling that emotion from when we were playing it. Just, it's like from the first notes of that set, just, it felt different. It felt like we were taking all of the, like the rough and turmoil experience that we were having, which was condensed into like a week.
Right.
But, you know, we were living in it.
But that's eternity that week.
We decided we were going to open with like today we're going to open with the slower tune. It's a song we have, Fly Frederick Fly.
Oh yeah.
And just from Jake plays the first notes out of it, and it just felt different than anything before, where it's like it was like so much release and just so much like I don't know, it felt like we were like overcoming like through every moment. And then it turned out to just be this like happy and fun set where like we like one of our buddies was in the audience. We started riffing on his name, like just joking around, having the best time. And I remember after the show, my mom was like, how the fuck did you do that? She was like, you got like an hour ago, you looked terrible. And then you pull that, like, where did that come from? Because like, I was expecting this to be, you know, my mom's worried. I thought this was going to be like a drag essentially. And like, turned out to be one of the best shows of the tour. It was released on YouTube. Like, it was like,
what's the show?
I think it's from Mr. Small's Theater.
Okay.
From outside of Pittsburgh. I'm blanking on the name of it. I'm sorry to everyone.
That's all right.
That's okay.
That's how we'll look it out.
Yeah.
That's enough info to go on.
Yeah, man.
Dude.
Pittsburgh, it was.
I could feel it when you were talking about it. I wasn't even there. Like that's the best shit. That's if they were all the best show you ever played, or if they were all easy, well, who gives a fuck then? But it's that moment when you're exhausted and you have nothing left to give, and you get out there, and then the muse takes over.
Well, it's like
You're
all the bullshit is out.
Yeah, you're out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about that too. Even like the Grateful Dead said that they used to tell some of so what are considered some of their best shows or what they thought were some of their shittiest.
Jerry
They were like,
said
that was a horrible thing. And then they listened back, heard it differently, and the fans loved it.
Yeah,
you know what?
He said I came off stage that night and I yelled at Phil because the show sucked. It was just awful. And then 2 days later, we listened to the tapes and they were crackling with energy.
I know, it's amazing how that happens, because you'll just remember how you feel
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yes.
moment. It's like with anything, like you won't remember what someone said to you, just how they made you feel. And it's the same kind of thing with us, where it's like, you know, and it's something that we address and talk about and try and be like, all right, well, like now let's make it sound good and feel good. But sometimes it doesn't feel good in the moment. Like you just don't feel like you're connecting with anybody. And then you listen back and you're like, holy shit, like we were on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and it's one of those things, you know, nobody usually likes the sound of their own voice.
Yes.
So it's like, you know, it's like this too. It's like, you know, and lucky for you guys, you have a podcast, so you have to hear it all the time.
We
But-
all went through hating it,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, same what you're saying. You
Yeah,
have to get past that. You have to,
totally.
this is what I sound like. Either start sounding better,
don't
improve
do
yourself, or
Or just go with it.
go with
I have
it.
people say to me all the time, you have a great voice. And when I hear myself, it's like, hey, how are you doing? I love your band, you know. But that's what I hear. But they're like, dude, you got a smooth voice. It's deep. I don't hear that.
Yeah.
Probably never will.
I wish
that comes down to we're all our own worst critic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sad to know I'll never be able to attend an Eggy show.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right.
True.
'Cause I would just love to know what that's like.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Wow.
I never thought of that.
I've been to all of them, but never seen us.
yeah.
Wow.
That's why it's always like, I
Hold
love
on,
when
man.
when
That's a
like my
mind-
bandmates get to sit in with other bands and stuff, because it's like, I especially like when Jake sat in with Dopapod on our last tour with them, and like hearing things I'm used to hearing and hearing a band get to interact with it for the first time, being like, I know this progression, I know what I would do, but then hear how Eli is interpreting it and being like, ooh, but that's really cool too. Like,
Yeah.
and like, I just, you know, it's the closest I kind of get to, you know, seeing us.
Seen it from
It's
the
like getting to see-
outside. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys,
And like,
you guys aren't just like killing the music thing either. You're involved in a lot of like other stuff with the band, like philanthropic stuff, like
Like the dog adoption stuff.
the home is where the dog lives, and the
Yep.
the Bloomlight collection.
Do you want
Oh,
to
yeah.
talk about that stuff?
sure. Yeah. So, it all started for us, the Illuminate, we call it the Illuminate project, you know, akin to Water Wheel Foundation, Twiddle with the White Light Foundation, and just seeing how like we have this bigger platform and wanting to find ways to, you know, just do more good at large. And so the first thing we did was, over the pandemic, it was Home Wherever My Love Surrounds, and we made these like sweatshirts that ended up where a portion of the proceeds of that sweatshirt benefited like you know, like equal rights sort of foundations, Equal Justice Initiative. It's groups like that. And then the Home is Where the Dog Lives one as well. As we were releasing, this one was kind of one that worked backwards. There's like, we were releasing a single, Home is Where the Dog Lives, and, you know, thought let's add this element to it to like just make it a bigger thing than just here's music. We're like,
Oh, that's
there's something more we can do with this.
Expand on the song.
And so, and then with the with like the Bloomlight collection that we collaborated with Val Wallace from New Paltz, New York. She's a jewelry artist, and she wanted to make this collection of jewelry based off of our music and lyrics. And she actually had the idea. She's like, why don't we try and do something with Illuminate through this? Like, let's, you know, we ended up picking a a foundation, the Jamie Hulley Arts Foundation here in Connecticut, that they work with schools and helping to promote, arts programs, and they give scholarships for people to, continue their creative education. I think Mike, our bass player, he says that he was the first recipient of the Jamie Hulley award.
Okay.
I believe so. We had like a close tie to them, and similar thing. We were doing this this jewelry release, and it was like, well, we're a band. We're constantly putting things out to people and asking them to buy stuff from us, and like we just feel like if we can do any more good, we're going to try, and hopefully things just scale up for us, and then our contribution can just become greater, because we ask a lot of people, so we really just want to find ways to give back. And it's tricky, like being at the stage of like business that we're at. Like it's not anything that's asked of us, and I guess a lot of times people say it's the people that don't have as much that give the most. But
That's true.
Yeah.
so it's definitely something we want to start, doing more of, and figuring out. When we were first hatching the idea for it, and I know, like I mentioned with Water Wheel and White Light, they're whenever they go on tour, they find local foundations and charities that they can contribute from that specific in that area that they're playing at, and I think that's just so amazing that
That is great.
Yeah, well, and it adds something energetically to the entire scope of what you do, that you're not just taking in. I mean, yeah, you are performing and entertaining, and that is service to the community, but you're not just taking in that energy, you're putting it back out, so it creates that flow.
Right.
Yeah. And it's important, man. I think that
It's beautiful.
yeah, that's one of the most amazing parts about having a platform, playing music, having a podcast, having a talk show, is to be able to give something back, and to help. Because look, man, we all know from the last few years that things can get really weird really quick, and there's a lot of people that that we know that we've lost, and like you, friends that we've lost, and it's just important to remember that and to give back. So that's really cool that you guys are doing that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
There's also something to be said too, like we've said, like asking for support and stuff like that. When you're asked, like you're talking about, when you are already asking so much of yourself and putting so much into it, it makes it easier to ask a lot from others.
True.
And it's like a good boss that gets in there and cleans the toilets and everything too, or something. He has the right to say things that normally somebody that wouldn't. So when you're doing so much yourself, it's okay to like ask and go out there.
Yeah.
And
well, thank you, because that's something that I actually really struggle with.
We do too. I can tell when you said that. That's why
reminder.
Yeah, because like we do the Patreon thing, and it's like, man, it's like it's like putting your hand out, and it's like, but we're providing a service and we're busting butt doing it, so
it's okay.
It's okay.
And there's got to be balance.
As Jake wrote in our song "Letter to Myself," don't be afraid to ask for things you want, impossible they may seem. With a little patience, conversation, life becomes a dream.
Yeah, Jake.
Heck yeah, Jake.
Absolutely. That's one to go out on.
Also, I'm gonna go back to speaking to Jake for a minute. It's fun. Like we were watching the videos and we're like, I hope your neck's okay, Jake. He does not quit moving.
If you guys know a bobblehead artist, we want to make a Jake
oh my
bobblehead
gosh,
so badly.
Jake Bobble.
he is just constant. It was like, oh man, but I'm older. It's like, oh man, if I did that for a whole show, it'd be like.
And was that you and Jake at Peach doing that head thing at the with the keyboard and the guitar?
Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
We like to get close. We were playing a show. We were playing a show the other day in Holyoke, Mass. I think we touched noses. But just going back on the old neck thing, we have a very good massage relationship in Eggy. where
Oh,
we
awesome.
take care of each other.
Hell yeah,
That's good. That's
important.
Yeah.
Especially with what you guys do, and you're moving all over the place, lifting heavy equipment. Then you're back on the friggin', tablet or whatever. Like posture and massage are very important things. I'm glad you guys are
Mel's
taking
all
care.
about it.
Yeah.
I just got a Hammond organ and a Leslie speaker, so
shit.
I have to dish them out because if anyone's gonna help me move that thing, they deserve it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
I want to just ask, like, you just have your head on so perfectly for this. You really do. Like, you're very aware of, like, going back to the foundations and things. You're very aware of your band, and you're charismatic. You're mindful of your friend Ed, your parents. Like, you're a great representative of Eggy. Let me just say
you're
that.
A mensch.
Yeah, you're
Oh, thank you.
definitely a mensch. And I'm just grateful that you spend time with us and to know that you are putting so much effort and so much behind this. Literally, there's no way it can't fail unless you stop.
Yeah.
I think that is an astute observation,
Yeah.
and I really
Yeah.
thank you for those kind words because it day in and day out I'm living and breathing this, so I appreciate that sort of recognition of the work that
man.
I put in, that my team puts in, and and I want to thank you guys for having me because this was so much fun. I've never really done like a podcast like this where to be honest, I wasn't so familiar with your format going into this. And when it popped up with 3 of you here, I was like, this is going to be so much fun. Like we're just
hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, we're out, you guys had some really amazing questions and we obviously there was the interview element of it, but I just felt like we were hanging out. Like I'm looking forward to when we get out to your neck of the woods.
Heck
And I get
yeah.
to actually see you guys and hang out with you guys.
That's what I wanted to
Yes.
bring up, man. We're going to be at Peach,
Yeah.
Awesome.
and we're going to be live podcasting from there.
Oh,
and,
sweet.
And if you have time, I would love to have you come
Have the band.
hang out with us for a few minutes on stage, just for a few minutes.
Yeah, totally. We're gonna be hanging out for most of the weekend.
Oh,
Oh,
sweet.
hell yeah.
Okay, you're
Right.
playing
Yeah.
Thursday, right? But then you're going to be there.
If we are, that's news to me.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't think the
I'm
schedule's
not-
out yet.
I'll be honest, I'm not positive what day I'm playing yet.
Okay.
Maybe that information just hasn't trickled down to me yet.
No, we don't have any inside
don't-
information.
Yeah.
No, I pulled this off your guys' site just of the upcoming tour, and it says Thursday Peach Fest.
Oh, I think we may have it just listed as like the whole weekend
Yeah.
Because
or
that's what
whatever.
they-
Because I know
yeah.
Peach starts on the Thursday,
Right.
but
that's you got-
we did the Thursday last year, and that actually was way better than we could have imagined.
Yeah.
Really? How?
We were the first band of the entire weekend.
Oh,
Although technically they did a Wednesday last year, but we were going into it like, if 100 people are here, we'll be happy. And then next thing you know, we're playing to 2,000 people on that small
Right
Grove stage,
on.
and like I love it because I go and I listen back to that set, and I pull up where I go to actually like address the audience,
Mhm.
and I felt like I was tripping. I was like, I can't speak.
Oh no.
I was like, I literally was just like, oh, this is awesome. I'm just speechless, like in the
Aw.
rain, no less. Like I didn't realize it was even raining. Like that whole thing was just like, I don't know, honestly, like a blur. I'm glad it was captured on video and stuff because I was there, but I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ethereal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
never been to Montage Mountain. We've never been to Pennsylvania. Well, Mel and I've been
Yeah.
to Hershey, but we've never been to Peach. What do we hit me up a little bit?
What
are we
can you
looking at?
expect
Yeah.
going to Peach?
Let me ask you: are you guys camping or you have a hotel?
No,
We're staying at the artist dorms there.
The artist dorms?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's already a head start. Because I was gonna say, well, I camped at Peach one year, and it was,
it was
you're roughing it if you're camping at Peach because everyone's camping on a mountainside.
Yeah.
So like, I remember I'd wake up on the other side of my tent because I was like I'd rolled all the way down and stuff. But Peach is awesome. we're really excited to have been asked back for this year. So many great acts, and at least I remember with last year, like I know it was a lot of people's like first festivals back, and for a lot of bands it was their first like real festival place.
Yeah.
Everyone sounds so good right now. Like everyone just had this extra fire and energy, and it's really cool. It's like a lot of my festival experience really is from Gathering the Vibes, or it was like those big open fields type ones.
Right.
Having the pavilion and like the ability to be like on a lawn or inside the pavilion, it makes for a really good concert experience for the main stage. The viewing area for like they have like this one, the mushroom stage, which is right by the water park. Like, it's great. Like you could hang out there all day and just, exist. And it's like,
Right on.
and then, where we played on the Grove stage, it's like kind of tucked away a little bit. Like I think when I went there my first year, I didn't even know it existed, but that's where we played. I mean, Goose had their first set there, which was like a really, people were like, that Peach set was like what lit the fire for so many people.
Right.
And it's really cool. And, people are bouncing around. There's like with many festivals, sit-ins galore. And it's just a really good vibe out there.
I can't wait.
yeah.
I can't fucking wait. And is it you that I've been corresponding with on the social media?
I think it was Jake, actually.
Okay.
I think he's,
Um,
it's the band's Instagram, but everyone kind of, if someone started talking to them, they just continue.
I'm gonna send you my phone number there.
Sure.
And then
definitely.
shoot me yours so that we can stay in touch as this comes up, so we can figure out where we're at there and all that.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
I would love to see you guys, and I'd love for you to meet the rest of the band too.
Yeah, and
just so you know, whenever you do make it out west this way, at least to Portland, we have a habit of just having everybody here come stay. If you want to stay in your van, that's cool. But we have a beautiful home. We do.
I don't.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to stay in my van.
Come on, man. we have we got laundry. We got groceries. We got like little.
And we have room.
Yeah,
we just
do.
discovered
We have room.
that we had. I don't know if you've heard of Apollo Sons, their band from Canada.
Yeah.
They came, not their whole conglomeration, but there were 6 of them. We were like, wow, 6. That's a lot of people in a band.
We're Instagram.
They were
friends
so
with them.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, they're
Right
awesome.
They're good people.
They were
man.
so comfortable. They were so. It was just.
They were
a great
rehearsing up in the
experience.
living room. It was like it was
Oh, that's
amazing.
awesome.
So we
Yeah.
just want to extend that to you, and get a little comfort and some relaxation before you hit the road again.
And if we
Totally.
can help get you out this way in any way, please let me know, and we'll do anything we can to make the connections or do whatever, because we're selfish and want to see you guys here.
Yeah. Oh, and what is it? You're gonna be. What is the? You're playing a festival coming up in Montana.
That's right. Jamming at the Gulch.
Jamming at the Gulch.
Yeah.
Good friends of ours out here that are up and comers out here. The band Sponge
oh yeah.
is
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
out there playing with you, and they said to say hi, and they look forward to
That's awesome.
jamming with you
They're
guys.
part of the No Simple Road family
Yeah,
for sure.
they're great.
That's great. Yeah, we're really excited. It's going to be the first show that we're flying to, so it'll
Nice.
we'll feel like rock stars for a
Heck
minute.
yeah.
And as well you should, my
exactly.
friend.
Chin up.
As well you should. Donnie,
Aw.
I want to
Yeah.
say thanks, man. That's right. I want to say thanks, man, just for the hours of enjoyment that we've had listening to
Yes.
you guys. And,
Yes.
from the heart, dude, I don't, who am I? I don't know anything special, but like, I have a knack for seeing what's happening and what's going on. And you guys are on a really good trajectory, man. It just don't doubt it for a second. It's happening.
Well, thank you so much, and likewise to you guys. I really love what you have going on here, and I want to thank you so much for having me, and wishing you guys all the best success and luck in this endeavor, and take whatever jump that is you need to take.
So
I
scary.
took it, just
Mel quit her
FYI.
job.
I did. I quit my it wasn't a desk job, but it was my
Right.
job that
Hey,
kept me away from our So
I'm next.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you
our-
so
this
much.
she's our
Like I said,
inspiration.
was so excited to have hopped on and I listen to my fair share of podcasts, that I love just like the conversation element of things. And I think we went deeper than if you were just asking me a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
So
thanks
that's
for
really-
thanks
thank
for
you
even
guys for
saying
that.
that. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's always nice to get confirmation on the way that you do things, because we do want to keep it light and fun, but we also want to know cool stuff, you know?
And
Yeah,
and I am looking forward to meeting you and giving you a hug at Peach, man.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, Donnie.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll talk
Right
to you
on.
soon, man.
Thanks,
Love you, brother.
Donnie.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Aw, what a cutie.
That was fucking dope.
What
That was
a
another one of those
total...
like we didn't know who we were getting. We didn't know who to expect. We're like, is it going to be Jake? Is it going to be Donnie? Is it going to like?
What
Wow.
just
Like I said, what an incredible representative
Yeah.
for the band Eggy.
Yes,
just the level of together is nuts.
and the dedication of the band of the name. That story is
Yeah, it could have been something super silly.
that it makes it so much more special now from here.
Well, you
and
know what? It
forever.
was super silly to be for them. They're joking
Yeah,
around like,
he's-
we're going to name it after you.
No,
And
don't
then-
do that.
And then it became something beautiful.
Yeah.
That's, right on,
and
Eggy.
that's awesome
Thank
to
you.
hear that too, Donnie having this, but like obviously you have awesome parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
And hey,
That's dope.
all
when
you
got
out there,
that.
if you enjoyed this, you would even more enjoy their music. If you haven't already listened to them, please go follow them on all the social media platforms and do us a favor.
Do us a
If-
solid.
If you listen to this show, to this podcast, this particular episode, and you enjoyed it, when you see Eggy post that they were on our show, leave a comment and say, hey, we heard you guys on No Simple Road. That was dope. That
Oh,
would be cool of you
Yeah,
guys.
we loved it. You guys are rad.
Just to let
That's
them
pretty
know that
easy.
you're listening.
That's pretty easy to do.
Doesn't
Yeah,
cost you
if you,
anything.
especially if you got this far in the interview.
Well, and now you're going to listen to us talk for another hour. So
All right.
good on you.
Right on.
Here we come. Well, wait, there's going to be a commercial and then us. Here we go.
I need to relax.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'm uptight. Oh,
Uptight
I'm
and out of
glad,
sight.
I'm glad
You know what
you're
I'm gonna
saying
do?
it. What?
I'm up in the Portland area, so I'm going to head on over to one of our fine sponsors' shops, Define Premium Cannabis.
What?
Man, you're a liar. You work there and shit.
I know, maybe a little biased, but we do carry dope stuff.
You're going
Get
there
it?
because you're going to work.
Yeah. So if you're up in the Portland area, come out and visit us in Hillsboro or in Forest Grove. We pride ourselves in taking our time with you to get you suited to your right medication in this constantly changing world of cannabis.
They get you suited so you can get zooted.
Yeah, we did. Wow,
gosh,
man.
sorry.
That was heavy. So if you're up in the area, when you come in, you make sure you tell them you're a listener of No Simple Road. So first of all, we know that. Then we can throw you that 10% discount.
Boom.
We're going to throw you a free t-shirt when you wear that back in.
Flat out.
That's going to stack for a 15% discount every time you come in.
And look, if you're bad at catching, it's okay. They'll hand it to you. They're not just going to throw all this stuff at you.
They might throw that discount at you.
That's true. Go to some, go out to
Okay,
Define.
well, you have to come out to find out.
Yeah, and go to Hillsboro and bug Apple. Define Premium Cannabis.
What is a city without its music?
The legacy of the New York Philharmonic is incredible.
Nearly 2 centuries of history. That's a lot of music and a lot of stories.
I was sitting on stage for the very first time thinking, I can't quite believe this is happening.
Join me, Jamie Bernstein, as we explore the history of the New York Philharmonic. It's the NY Phil story made in New York, a podcast about a city, its people, and their orchestra. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
You're going to go bug them.
I
We're
like
back.
to be bugged.
This is us. This is the end of the show. There's no more commercials.
Come bug me.
You
Yeah,
should
we're here.
come bug him. Hey,
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that interview.
Oh, thank you, Donnie.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really, really liked Eggy before this, but now, like, it's full on.
A bunch of sweethearts doing their thing.
Yeah.
How can you not love that?
And it's so cool to
Seriously.
I don't know if I've got to say this before, but like, it's really cool to see a band breaking out. Like, they haven't been out west too much. Like, we're getting to see them break out of their market and travel across the country and grow their fan base and like,
See how they're greeted
and
and
then-
accepted.
and then you could have like bragging rights because you're like,
I knew
Ew,
them
that's
win. I knew them
why.
win.
and they were before they even came out west, man. Oh, you just found out about them?
Yeah, because we're such
Years.
braggarts. You know?
That
That's what we do.
mentality is for the birds.
do you even rap, bro?
Get out of here.
No, you know what?
Wow.
It's cool to see them
period,
breaking out,
because they're
man.
dope and they're finding, like, spreading their wings.
or their yolks.
That's true.
I'm sorry.
Wow,
You
man.
should see the look that Apple just gave me. That
Kind of
was
dumbfounded.
bad.
Well, it's better than I was expecting. When you were like, I want to say something I've never said before. They're going to be like chicken butt, Han Solo, turkey salad.
Yeah, you said something that you said last week.
I didn't say that last week.
I heard you say that just a minute ago. Or maybe my timing's off, but I heard it.
Okay.
What?
Heard it.
Anyway,
don't
everybody,
you look at me like
I
that.
seen it. I seen it with my own two eyes.
See?
you know, part of the charm of No Simple Road is the feeling of being here with us. And this is exactly the kind of shit that goes on when the mics aren't turned on. So I hope you're enjoying, because this is it. You got to the end of the interview and you're like, I want to find out what No Simple Road is up to. And then it's the three of us being fucking weird.
Well, yeah, this is where we get a really
We
kind
can
of
really shine.
We can shine.
Yeah, this is where we can shine.
Part of the
Sure.
show and we shine.
Yeah, this is where you find out what we're up to.
Yeah.
and
Well,
we're
what are you
gonna
up
be
to, Apple?
Apple's shining.
What am I up to?
Yeah, what kind of shine do you got going on?
Well,
We just had a big fucking blowout before now.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. It was
yeah, we
throwing
were
punches.
blood was all
Yeah,
over.
like we always did, little sometimes, and everybody has this in our life. Sometimes communication's not 100%, and then you get to communicating, things come out, and then it feels good because it's like out
The pimple
and
has
about.
been popped.
Yeah, and then it's all good. So yeah, we had to straighten a few things out this evening, but all on the heels and the threshold of what's coming, and on the heels of, like Mel said earlier, we talked to Tommy Hamilton Monday. Had a great interview with him, which you'll hear coming up on the build up to go into Peach.
We talked to Henry Kaiser.
We talked to Henry Kaiser this
Oh, wow.
weekend, and Rome. You're going to hear that one. We just talked this evening. We just did an interview right before this with Sean from the Kitchen Dwellers, which was amazing, as he's driving in his car up through the mountains of Montana to go have a little retreat with his girl before they jump back on the touring schedule, starting with the Telluride Bluegrass Festival.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things are just, it's getting awesome.
Yeah.
And it feels like, especially up here, we're hearing a lot of places. Sean said it when we were talking to him. They've had a very late spring in Montana. We're having a very late spring up here. It looks like we're going to be jumping from winterish spring right into summer. And summer is here. Lots of things are coming up, like you keep hearing us talk about. We're getting very excited. We got the Mojo Family Fest coming up.
Woo, woo.
We've got
That's
the
coming up
Peach
so quick.
coming up right after that. And then like a tiny little break, which I know is going to be filled with awesome things. And then we jump into Northwest String Summit.
And then Camp Suds.
And then Camp Suds.
Which was just announced today.
Woo.
Yeah.
I have to say that I am highly impressed with Sponge.
Well, okay, I know why, but tell them why.
Well, at magic happened at Beltane. I mean, the further away we get from Beltane, the more I see its beauty,
majesty.
Yeah, its majesty and its workings in the No Simple Road, and myself personally. Like, sometimes things take a minute to settle before you realize the gift, you know. But it just taught me so much about our dynamic. And wait, where was I going with this?
Sponge.
Sponge. Thank you, babe. Keeping me back on track. Sage came up to me on the dance floor at Beltane and came up with this idea. And
well, I think the idea was already up.
But it was original for him, like the way that he put it.
To like have us there.
Yeah, to have he wanted Sponge to do a festival, and at the time, we were like with Bryce, and he was kind of joking, like, yeah, in the future, and like Sage was like, no, made it happen this year by early
in September.
Yeah, September,
9th
right?
and 10th.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it's Sponge.
Congratulations on killing it in such a timely manner.
Yep. Sponge, Cycles, Family Mystic, Bodhi Mojo, and a whole bunch more, and us live podcasting.
Yay.
So that's another thing that's going down this summer. I want to, instead of doing our week this week, I want to flip the script a little bit and throw you guys a curveball.
What does that mean?
I was thinking about something, and I want to know what your opinion is. And please don't just answer in the "they're cool." I need like content here. Okay. I want to know what your actually, I'm gonna start with Apple. Apple, I want to know what your thoughts on aliens are.
What my thoughts on aliens are?
Where do you stand on the whole like alien thing and disclosure and like if they're real or not, or if you think that like humans are alien hybrids or aliens, man. Come on.
Well, first of all, I think George Clinton is the leader of all the aliens, and he came down in the mothership, and Parliament Funkadelic fucking cult.
Dang.
Yeah. All right.
I believe. I
Too,
believe.
yeah.
I'm on that train all the way.
Yeah, the alien thing to me is they're cool.
All right. No.
I'm for aliens.
I have always believed. To me, it's one of those things, and it's a word that's careful not to offend anybody that doesn't believe in them or anything. But I've always agreed with that saying of like, it's kind of ignorant to think that we're the only life form that exists. And if you believe in space and science and everything out there, it's kind of hard to believe that we are the only life form that exists in this vastness, infinity of planets and solar systems and everything. So ever since a kid, and that has never changed, I've never like doubted that. I've always believed that aliens are real. Growing up in Las Vegas like we did, and spending lots of time out in the desert, in the camping, dirt bike ride, everything, being out in the desert, seen many things in my lifetime that I can't explain. They're definitely UFOs.
You don't think that like most, if not all, of what we saw, because I saw some things out there in the desert too.
Yeah,
and I wasn't always on acid.
No, that's what I'm saying. Even from being a kid,
right? But I think most
things.
of the shit that we saw, at least this is just my take on it, and we'll get to where I stand on the whole thing in a minute. Is that we saw stuff that was from the test site that they were testing. What we probably saw the most was stealth,
and them fucking with alien technology, whatever. But in a nutshell, I don't, and this goes with most things too. I don't discount that anything, that it's not possible. I believe in just about anything is possible.
That
may be hard to believe
underwater?
sometimes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. There's to me, there's nothing. Every time you think something's impossible, it can get proven wrong and stuff. But with the alien thing, I believe I have no proof like most people, but I also can't discount the a lot of what people conspiracy theory put it in that shell, that they live among us, that they have. It fucking makes sense if you look at it from several ways.
So wait, you're on the lizard people train?
I didn't say the lizard people. It doesn't. That's where everybody immediately jumps to, the lizard people. No, but I believe that there are forms of life that live among us, whether they're in human shape or not. There's some weird shit out in the jungles and the forests and in places that are uninhabited that we don't really see.
And the ocean.
And in the ocean, we know, like they say, we know less about our oceans than we do space.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the depths and stuff like that, we're exploring all the time. But to answer your question, I totally believe in aliens, and I hope they're real. I hope that they're, it makes sense to me.
Okay.
Why do you hope that?
Because it's dope to know we're not alone. We're not,
what if they're assholes?
There's asshole people. Yeah, we deal with that.
So true.
If they're assholes like in the movies, like they come and blow us up, well, then they blow us up and it's over with. And it's, but I don't believe they're assholes. I believe the way that maybe our military would deal with alien invasion or something would turn them into assholes when immediately the thought is to like attack something.
Mm.
That is, unfortunately, that is the mentality of our defense.
You kind of just answered a question that I've been thinking about that made me want to bring this up tonight. Was like, I'm always watching anything to do with like disclosure and aliens and like all that, and I am 100% in. Like, I think it's all real. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole and tell you all the shit that I think is going on, but
Well, the government pretty much at this point has admitted it's real with all these documents. They're like, okay, they're going to put them out. No, they're not. No, they're not. We already know. And there's already enough stuff that's been leaked over the years of very sane people that have not experimented with drugs and everything their whole lives, that have dedicated their entire lives to being pilots, like in the Navy and stuff, that have seen this shit and been quieted.
But here's my thing. Like, I do believe it, but I have this question of like, okay, there's these other life forms and they have figured out how to like bend space-time and travel through wormhole technology, or they've built ships and they know how to travel light years, or they don't even need ships. They travel in consciousness, right? Who knows? We don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Why aren't they showing up all the time?
Maybe they are. That's why they're being talked about.
Like, why aren't they like over LA right now? Like,
they have
with an escalator.
They have the ability to be somewhere and not be seen.
And I also, I mean, there's all that talk out there about like they may intervene at some time, but they're like watching to see what the hell happened. They're not interfering, but they will. There's so many theories and so many angles and so many theories on kinds of aliens and stuff. And that's why it cracks me open. It's like, you believe in the lizard people? That's the point. And like it's us human beings on Earth and the lizard people from that planet. It's like, no, if you believe there's one other, there's got to be tens. And I like to think of it like Star Wars and Star Trek. There's many galaxies, many life forms, many aliens. That's dope. And it makes sense.
Was it Sting that said, "I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien"?
That's different. That's different. That's not what I'm talking about.
I always, from a very young age, grew up believing in aliens because that's what my uncle used to say, that I was an alien because I was born with 6 fingers.
12.
Well, 6 fingers on each hand.
Yeah.
And so he would always say that I was an alien. I was from out of this world, and that's why my mom didn't understand me, and it would kind of like make it feel better.
Yeah.
So for that silly reason, I always had a kind of a fascination with them, and I always loved learning about aliens. And I mean, recently I've had my fair share with aliens at like Hershey and when we were at Fish and stuff like that. And with Rain camping, and even at Ben and Tiff's, and when we lived in Las Vegas. So there's no doubt that it's real. I just think that I know that we don't think in the way that they can do things.
Right.
So there's no, like, you asking that, they're probably here right now maybe we're under constant watch. We don't know how their entity or how their energy works. So we might be amongst them all the time.
I saw a thing with Michio Kaku, the physicist.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a physicist. And he was talking about like different levels of civilization. And like a type 1 civilization is this advanced, and type 4 is 1 million years advanced from type 1, right? And the explanation that he gave was like, think of an anthill, and the ants are just doing their thing, and they're digging, and they're working and going about ant day. And then human beings come, and we're building a superhighway right over where the anthill is. The ants have no concept of superhighway, of human beings, of what we're building. Their minds can't conceive of what's even happening there. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if there is alien civilizations that have been around for millions of years, we would be the anthill. They would be the humans building the superhighway. We wouldn't even be able to conceive of what or how or any of it. Like, we think to travel the stars, you have to be in this compressed can that has air and gravity inside of it, and it shields you from radiation, and it has to go a certain speed. And what if it's something completely different?
Yeah, like
we don't even know.
You can get like in tune by doing like some certain yoga postures and breathing techniques and getting the right amount of, in your head. Like you can make some shit happen.
And well, what if it's like they're communicating by putting information on spores? And because spores can live in the vacuum of space, and they travel and they land on planets, and there's information encoded in those spores. And then when the fruiting body of those spores come up, and the whatever is living on that planet ingests that thing, that information is encoded into that person or thing. Maybe that's a way to communicate that we haven't even thought of. And wow, wouldn't that be cool?
There's like no limits. There's
That's exactly. There's no limit. When
There's
people
not.
try to put it all into one category, like a certain kind of alien, there's so many. Because first of all, if you believe in aliens, there are so many possibilities, and so many different life forms, and so many ways of communication, and it's endless.
Yeah,
like the universe.
But I do wonder, like. And I guess maybe you just kind of, like I said a few minutes ago, maybe you answered it for me, because we're assholes. Our first thing is to like, let's fuck it, or let's beat it up. You know what I mean? That's where humanity is. And the aliens are probably like, yeah, we're gonna wait until you guys freaking figure it out a little bit.
You guys watched it, like a lot of the UFO programs and stuff and everything, and that a lot of the experts that like believe and stuff have said that themselves.
Ancient astronauts,
like,
theorists believe
this planet and this world, society, consciousness, most of this planet could not accept that and is not ready for it, and would react in a way that would not be conducive to the people that do believe,
dude,
and to the furthering of consciousness. I think it will get there one day, but not the way everything's being done right now, because the first thing right now is like defense, to get defensive.
Oh, the whole narrative is turned to that. So we're not calling them UFOs anymore. They're called UAPs now, unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is a military term. And everything,
I did not know that.
Yeah, and everything that you see that has to do with UFOs now is like, if they're coming here and we can't, their technology is so far beyond ours, then they are a threat to our national security. Everything that you see on TV is all about that shit, isn't it, Mel?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I don't know about the last part you said, but the UAPs, I knew about that part, and the changing of the way that you say it, or the speech or whatever.
Which is that kind of goes along with the whole thing over the last couple of years. Like, we're finally going to release all the DACA, and now they're they're rewriting things.
They released a bunch of shit that like had already been leaked. It's like, oh, cool. But here's the other thing, man. Like, I had always been into fringe shit, always loved reading about aliens and learning about magic and like all that shit, and thought I like understood it and believed it until the first time that I really blasted off on DMT. And then I was like, oh, that's alien fucking technology. That is a portal. Like, I just saw something other. I'm not like, that has nothing to do with like another planet, or maybe it does,
or necessarily aliens or anything, but it opens up the knowledge,
but that
and
is the
understanding of
alien.
other realms.
Right. That's the definition of alien, not of here. Right. So I know for a fact now that aliens exist because I have communicated with them.
You had a personal experience.
I had several personal experiences with them. And I've like, in my travels on the internet and Instagram and stuff, people have had negative experiences with entities on DMT. And personally, I have never experienced that. Like every experience I've had there
You should count yourself lucky
has
then.
been super positive and like transformative.
Yeah.
Well, and that's it. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And some people aren't wired to accept things.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people can't even have THC now.
No.
And some people, like,
Yep.
at first when you're saying, like, bullshit, you're just tripping in your head. You're fucking get over it, you know. But, not everybody has the same experience on DMT. There's a lot of similarities and stuff, but it's also very personal.
Also,
Those
DMT is
experiences.
very, like, regal. And it feels as if, I know that there's so many people just, DMT vape pens and stuff like that. But sometimes you can get, bitch slapped on the spiritual side for, doing it in a way that's not, like respectful to the entity. This could like spirits, alcohol, right? Even marijuana, like I feel like it's like that prescription pills. You abuse it and you'll freaking pay the price. So one way or another.
The medicine.
Yeah.
Apple, you've been bitch slapped a little bit, haven't you, when smoking DMT?
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of them. One time was about trying to like when we were, which we all learned from that when it came back to, it was like, okay, we're not supposed to necessarily speak, at least for these trip, not like turn the music off. You need it to be dark. You need to like respect it and get in that headspace. And like Mel said too, don't be smoking a joint before and everything. But then again, I mean, that's personalized.
Do whatever you want.
That was
literally
that was
whatever.
Do you,
and
boo.
then the other time was like a couple times, like one of them stands out too is like Summer Meltdown, because we were doing so much stuff that whole week. Had a great experience. I don't think I've ever ingested as much DMT as I did at that experience in Summer Meltdown, but it was convoluted with other stuff going on and doing other things throughout the weekend and stuff.
Yeah. Talk about fucking aliens, dude. That night at Summer Meltdown, Tipper opened a portal to another dimension in that place. And
That was the first time I'd ever seen the trees with the faces. And now I kind of like see it in the internet a lot. But I'd never seen.
Yeah, I had never seen no shit like that.
Lights making the trees
And
like
come to
into
life.
like these gorgeous, huge,
Have you seen that? There's a
faces.
video where Tipper performed at Red Rocks.
Oh, no.
Where he makes the the whole thing turns into faces like on the rocks and
Oh my
everything.
God, if he ever plays there
Wow.
again, we gotta
He's
go.
going to be playing there again.
Dang.
So
It's on a schedule.
Tipper at Red Rocks?
Yeah.
that's a pilgrimage worth taking.
Wow. I vote for that all the way.
Yeah. So you know how in life, like you go through phases with stuff and I don't know about you, but like as I get older, my intuition is more plugged in and I pay more attention to it. And like after 50 years of being around, I've been around long enough to see cycles happen and like stuff come back that was cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And after the last 2 years, like we went from pandemic to war, right? And it seems to me that the next logical step in all this madness that's going on is aliens. It seems like that's the next like big reveal that's going to go down. Like we've done the, the globe in turmoil with pandemic.
Well,
we've done the war thing.
And the alien thing too. I like to think that like in my mind, the way I think aliens are fucking cool. And I think they have something to do with us being here. When you look back at all the theories and stuff of like the Egyptians and how the pyramids are, there's a lot of, alien help things that come in there and stuff. And the whole gap in science of the missing link. How did we get to that point of the apes walking upright to all of a sudden, hey, here's Carl? Like there's big gaps. Something fucking happened.
The Anunnaki needed somebody
I like to
mine
think
their
they're
gold,
cool,
dude.
and I like to think where we're headed with a lot of people in power and stuff is not the best, and I don't trust these people, and I don't like our government.
That's cool.
I don't
trust you either, dude.
Exactly. They shouldn't. They definitely should fucking not. But I believe when I mean, the shit's getting pretty heavy and shit, but it can always get, I like to think that when it gets to a point of like a catalyst, like it goes any further, it's going to really fight, that they're going to step in and teach these motherfuckers a lesson.
Okay, sure. But what about during World War II? We dropped a fucking atomic bomb. Nobody showed up. That's at the point of total annihilation
of one little play. We're heading toward that was, I mean, I get that's horrible, but that was one bomb that kind of squashed everything and created us as a superpower. I mean, let's not get into that right now, but like when it comes down to where we're heading towards and not just by war and stuff, but like human extinction, global annihilation,
right?
Like on a whole, for the first time in recorded history ever, we just had a 2-year thing happen to the entire planet.
Right.
Usually things happen to different societies, different things. Incas disappeared, this, that. It's always a group. It's not a mass whole. And there's the other thing too. I like to also think sometimes, and this theory's out there too, of like, they're waiting for us to realize we need to work together. We work against each other. It's all throughout history. It always you're working. It goes back to cavemen. Tribe that lives fucking a mile away is killing this tribe, and so it's always been a conflict. And I like to either we get to over that conflict and work together for the heaven on earth, whatever you want to call it and stuff, whatever it ends up being. But either we do that on our own and fix that, or we keep pushing it to the point of global annihilation, which would mean, planet annihilation or human extinction, that they would step in. But that's just that's my happy place I go to. Like when it gets to the worst,
they're gonna come.
The cool aliens are gonna come
home and make everything okay.
That's cool. I like that way.
And I'm sorry, I just got to interrupt this for a minute because I'm just chuckling because my dad was texting me. I was talking to him earlier this evening, and he's like, why don't you, my dad's getting older, and when you hear this, Dad, I'm not picking on you. My dad's almost 80, and people have older parents. They know they repeat things and they forget things and stuff. And he was telling me again tonight, you guys need to do the YouTube thing. The YouTube thing is where I was like, Dad, I told you many times we're on YouTube. So he is watching our live stream from last weekend and is laughing. He says, watching your podcast on YouTube, you guys are awesome. But my butthole is my personal business.
What?
It's got to be one of the ones where I was talking about my hemorrhoid issue or something. And he's like, you are awesome. Because my dad's not the type that's going to share personal information. That old school. You don't share personal information like that. But that's just funny. In the middle of this, he's like, my butthole's my personal business. Anyway, thanks for listening, Dad.
Anyway. Back to business.
Yeah, the alien thing. That's in my mind. I like to think that they're good, and I mean the few experiences and things I've felt in my life and stuff, and have all been very positive and encouraging. I've never seen something or felt something where I'm scared when it comes to a possible alien.
I have
thing.
I absolutely have. And wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You okay?
Yeah.
All right. It's touch and go, man. I was on the couch at my dad's house. The door was open upstairs, but the house had gates on it. So you couldn't get in. Like every house has bars in Vegas. And I was asleep. It was like 2:30 in the morning. TV was on, and I woke up and couldn't move. And there was something standing at the head of the couch that I was sleeping on. And I was fucking frozen. All I could move was my eyes. And I was trying so fucking hard to move and couldn't, and was terrified. And then there was like a snap and it was gone and I could move again.
And you believe that was alien?
Or
is that just something from another realm?
I don't know. I don't know. And not to sound too fucking crazy. I've told Mel this. I've never said this on the show, but like that happened 2 nights in a row there. And the second time it happened, in the morning, I had a bloody nose. The next morning, no, I wasn't doing blow or
No, you're a kid.
No, I wasn't a kid. I was 17 or 18.
Oh, okay.
Woke up the next morning, I had a bloody nose, and my nose was crooked.
You got probed.
So, yeah.
I missed the whole story.
You know about that
nasal
when I
cavity probe.
Got frozen on the couch at my dad's house when I was a kid. Well, not a kid, a teen. A young man.
Okay. It's like one of those, faint memories.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Frozen. You stepped into the freezer.
I don't know, man.
Oh.
That shit's terrifying. And I've heard other people have experiences like that and weird shit. And
I mean, I've had terrifying like those, the waking where you can't move and stuff. I've always associated that more with like realms, like the undead,
demons,
purgatory, demons, ghosts, entities, not necessarily aliens. But again, it's one of those things that there's not really any proof of any of this, so you have to believe, and that's where I'm not gonna discount anybody's beliefs and stuff.
Right. What's going on over there, Mel? You got ants in your pants?
No.
What?
Something like fell on me, I don't know, but I brought my head down and like something fell out of my hair.
Yeah, there's always shit in your hair.
There is always shit in my hair, but like it fell and I like heard like a so I was like, what the fuck?
It was like a substantial something in your hair.
It was a substantial, and I'm wearing all black, so I had to kind of like shake myself off.
I've actually seen something attach itself to Mel in her sleep.
Oh, that with Simon that one night?
Yeah.
Well, attach. Yeah. I mean,
like sitting on your chest.
Interact.
Yeah.
We interacted for sure. Yeah. It was really scary and like profound, and not like, profound. It was like the fact that it was happening and that I was like lucid, and that
I was seeing it.
Yeah, that you were seeing it too was like, oh shit, this came on to me. Like it came at me.
You like were like, what's the word?
Paralyzed.
But to wake me up, you were like moaning. Like, and you were barely moving and moaning.
Yeah, I was like really tense, like trying to like
fight.
Yeah, move, and it wouldn't let me move, and like when I think about that day, I remember our hallway in our house, and like I felt the energy kind of coming through the house, like while we were sleeping, like I felt it, and then that's what woke me up, was like I felt something on the side of the bed, and then it was like.
I remember you talking about this too. I remember sharing that with my mom. My mom and my stepdad does not believe in any of this stuff or anything. But at the house on Bronco, and my mom, he woke up in the middle of the night. My mom was kind of moaning, doing that kind of like, and he said he saw something on her side of the bed and had a hold of her and was pulling her out of the bed. And he woke up and full swung at it, and his hand went through it. And then it disappeared, and my mom had a bruise mark of like a hand that was on her wrist, and it was there for like, my mom bruises pretty easily. It was a hand where she was being pulled was a physical like handprint that was trying to pull her.
Okay. See, man?
Yeah.
And
shit happens.
Yeah, and this is gonna sound weird, but whatever, this is the place for that. I don't know.
We haven't gotten weird yet.
Yeah, no shit. As a kid, like I'm talking like 5. This is in 3rd grade. We were living in Colorado, and we were renting this big ass house, and it had a guest house behind it, and my bedroom had a loft. So like you walked in, and right above where you walked into the room was like a platform that was attached to the wall that you could like climb a ladder, and that's where my bed was up there. And 3 different times when we lived there, I was always fucking scared at that house. I wasn't a scaredy cat little kid, really. But when we lived there, like, I always felt like something was following me or with me or like watching, or all kinds of weird shit would happen. But 3 separate times, right at that moment of drifting off from like conscious thought into sleep, I was like shaken awake by a gong. And it would still be ringing when I sat up freaked out, but I was the only one in the house that heard it.
I heard it
3 different times. So
it was just
How
for
old are
you.
you?
like 3rd grade. I don't know. How old are you in 3rd grade? I don't
8.
know.
You're
A kid.
8.
8. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Apple.
To me, that's an easy one. Kindergarten's 5. Every grade from that, you add that number to 5. So 3rd grade would be 8.
Thanks, Apple. So yeah, that happened. And I always have felt like there was something that was either like following me or like protecting me or like making sure that,
How'd you know the difference?
I guess it was a feeling. The only time it ever felt scary was at my dad's house, and that, like, all the rest of the time it's been chill. You know?
Just wants to chill.
Yeah, just wants to chill and hang out. But yeah,
Wow.
I've always felt like that. And I think that's what initially piqued my interest into learning and trying to find out more about aliens and ghosts and all that fun shit. Like, and then I realized that it was real when I started doing psychedelics and smoked DMT and ate mushrooms. I was like, oh, that's what it is. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that took us down the rabbit hole.
That was fun.
That was different.
See?
And fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking switch it up around this joint. It's the same old stale shit.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say too.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody.
All the opinions and things that you've heard are my beliefs, man.
Yeah.
Not the beliefs of the whole.
Nope. I didn't.
What does the whole believe anyway?
The
I don't
whole-
Let's
know.
not get into that.
The
Yeah.
hole's empty.
Hey, everybody,
Yeah, it's
follow
tube,
Eggy
man.
on Instagram and download their music and follow them on Facebook and Twitter or wherever the hell they're at, and buy their merch and go to their shows. And when they post about this episode on their social media,
Repost it.
and comment so that they know that you listened and that you dug it.
And then we know. We know,
Yeah.
they know, you
Get
know.
these interviews around.
It's a whole like community gathering thing. We are a digital fire for you to gather around every week.
Oh, Darwin looks so cute, everybody.
Yeah, he does. Yep. So that's that. We're going to go. We're going to go to bed now. We love you guys. We'll be back next week with who's next week? We have it on our board. I could see it. Kendall Street Company.
Street. Yeah.
Kendall Street Company next week, everybody. So stay tuned
Another
for that.
dope one.
Yeah, you
They're
guys
just
are going to
all
love that.
dope.
So, yep, we love you guys. Remember, hydrate and safety. Actually, I'm going to slow down. Hydrate. It's getting warmer. It's summer. You're at festivals. You're
Hydrating
doing
is important.
nefarious
Yeah.
shit.
Electrolytes.
Yeah, take care of yourselves this summer, you guys. Hydrate. That's number 1. Safety 3rd. Wash your hands. Smile at a stranger.
Love an alien.
Yeah,
Aliens are nice.
unless you're an asshole.
Exactly.
Like twisting, turn the mission, turning this to journal. Wish the word is many problems, but it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hell of me has been the earth. And alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So
windshield is shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The reality is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A=A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hey listeners, I want to tell you about the April-May 2023 issue of Relics magazine. Features a Dave Matthews Band cover story with additional articles and interviews with The National, Graham Nash, Wayne Shorter, ALO, Ivan Neville, our friend Eric Krasno and Stanton Moore, Marty Stewart, and much more. Check out the latest version of Relics and subscribe now at relics.com/DMB. Thanks, Relics.
Hi, this is Henry Kay, host of the #1 music history podcast, Rootsland. Come with me on a journey to Kingston, Jamaica, where we explore the world of reggae music and the untold stories of some of the genre's greatest legends. From the ghettos and tenement yards where the music was born, to the island's iconic recording studios. We are so excited to team up with Osiris Media, the leading storyteller in music, because as you'll hear, sometimes the story is the best song.